from His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the next most experienced, most viable, most marketable politician in this country today is Excellency Dr Mahamudu Bawumia. He has demonstrated that he has the knowledge, he has the exposure, he has the experience to lead this country. And he has demonstrated that Ghana will be in very safe hands if Ghana was handed over to him at the end of this. He has demonstrated that. No other person in the NDC, apart from President Mahama, comes anywhere close to Dr. Bawumia's exposure, his experience, his knowledge of running, one, for national office, and two, working in the executive arm of government. He has done both. If you compare to the others, the NDC will come out with rookie. I've said that. Whoever the NDC brings up to run against Bawumia will be a rookie. And by the way rookie means that will be the first time that person is running for office. That's what I mean. Rookie defines as the first time the person is running as president. No other person in the NDC, apart from Cyril Norman, has that experience. Dr. Bawumia has run as vice president for 2 times. He has run and has been on the losing side for 2 times, on the winning side for 2 times, and then as presidential candidate, he has lost for 1. That experience, that exposure, that knowledge, there's nobody in the NDC that has it and can equal him. So if you look at the bench that the NDC had, it's a lightweight bench compared to Dr. Bawumia.
You say, based on the outcome of the 2024 elections, would you say the popularity as against the viability of his candidature, he will still be a viable option or alternative?
Based on everything you have just said, I can say without any equivocation that the next president of the Republic of Ghana will be His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. That is also because he has I've just told you, if he's coming, it's like Mike Tyson coming out against Bukom Banku.
And yet he was just accusing Martin of playing God.
I'm also telling you this. And the NDC is now, he made something. When Aliu Muhammad did not win the NDC, you know what happened? NDC went out and said that in their party, they have a tradition of elected vice presidential candidates.
So you had indicated that Martin Kpebu was almost playing God. I think this emphatic statement
I'm telling you about I'm playing statistic. There's something unfortunate that is happening within the NDC that I'm not happy about. For the first time, the NDC is moving away from their tradition of letting the sitting vice president replace the president. And they are doing that, trying to bundle away and try to push out the sitting vice president, which is not fair. Jerry John Rawlings handed over to his vice president, Mills.
No, hold on. Gentlemen, hold on.
Can I be allowed to make my point here? Can I be allowed at least to make my point here?
Hold on.
The NDC has a tradition. The NDC has a tradition of making sure that an incumbent vice president takes over from the sitting president. That is the NDC's tradition.
Okay. But if you say...
let me develop that point. Yes. And that point was solidified on what became known as the Sword Road Declaration, where Jerry John Rawlings stood up boldly, held the hand of Apata Mills, and said that Mills was going to lead him. When he did that, Guzitano and the Reform Report, they left the party and went and formed a new party. And from that moment on, the NDC almost disintegrated onto 3 parts. But the NDC stood by. That is why Mills replaced Rawlings. That is why Professor Mahama replaced Mills. And today, it is the turn of Professor Jane Obokunana to replace Mahama. And what do we see? She's not even making the 3%. So when you see the fight back from the NDC that Musa Danko don't do what you're doing, what they are simply trying to say is that your poll now is saying that the vice president cannot be president. They are telling you that your poll now is saying that this woman is not where you are trying to muzzle out this woman. And that is why you see in the fight. When you hear Kwesi Ahoy and others calling into Metro TV to propose this, and they are saying that let's protect this woman.
Dr. Zaato.
Let's go to, can I see the NDC? Can I see the NDC chat?
One of the things I don't do is to take up what happens on other platforms that we haven't seen.
Sorry. So
to make it a discussion point.
Okay, I don't want to do that.
You know that.
No, good. So let's talk about the NDC. Can I see the NDC list?
Because you indicated that
the NDC list, okay.
The NDC is muscling out.
The vice president, yes.
That is to suggest that the party has taken a decision to do so.
Whether it's by coincidence or it is the fact is that the vice president how can a president have 67% approval ratings, meanwhile the vice president is not even cracking the top 3%?
I asked a specific question.
Yes.
You say the NDC is muscling out the vice president.
Yes.
Where did they do that?
That's how I read the polls.
You understand.
Can you put up the NDC polls?
That's how you understand the polls.
Good. So look at this. I want to.
That's how you understand that the NDC.
I want to tell you the analysis behind the poll. I want to tell you the analysis behind that poll.
No,
yes, that's the head of it. I want to tell you the analysis behind that.
I think that in understanding this,
Alfred,
the man who did the poll. Wait,
Alfred, if you could just pardon me. You see, it is Saturday morning.
I'm going to come to you.
It's Saturday morning. And see, when people wake up, I'm
going to come to you
on Saturday morning when they don't have to go to work, they want to listen to enlightening and enriching conversation.
Exactly. Let's do that. I want to do that.
Ridiculous.
I want to do that.
Hold on.
So can we look?
The person who did this is here. Good. In reading this, is that to say that there was any specific muscling out agenda?
You know, I've never been part of any agenda of any group of people in my life. We put out an announcement. Look, we have done several work behind the scene. And in the first poll we conducted, she was first with 25%, then Haruna Idrisu and the rest. Then she got into these health challenges. And thereafter, she was taking time to recover. We did a poll quietly and asked people, who would you prefer to lead NDC without her name? And we put someone else. And we said, if it's someone else, mention who. So obviously, if she was on people's mind after that situation, people would have mentioned her name or would have brought her back. So what the list we have is a combination of people who get in touch with us, our own assessment, and our own internal polling data. That shows people were not mentioning her. And we put out an announcement that her name is not there. If you believe any person's name is missing from the this list, please contact us. That was publicly announced. Nobody contacted us. So don't come and say that, look, Mr. Zatoo, I think let's be measured.
It's so ridiculous.
No.
Don't say no. You make your point. Let me also make my point.
Hold on.
Make your point. Okay, I'm listening. Because you can't say...
No, hold on.
The polls are done by us, not by NDC.
And not NDC.
NDC doesn't own this poll. We are not
so
NDC.
How can it be used to muzzle out?
If you like, your African and do a poll with her name in there, that's fine.
Some arguments you don't make them.
Can I respond?
So at least now that matter has been put to rest.
No, what matter?
You make a claim.
You are responding.
You are asking for a response again.
Like what matters?
Do you listen to yourself?
Yes, I do.
You make a claim.
Can I do a response to you?
What matters? You ask if you can respond.
What matters to rest? I'm telling you that you have...
Hold on.
Do what?
Hold on.
Do you listen to yourself
you
when you
made
talk?
a claim. And the person who did the poll is...
Did I say he muzzled him out?
So
did I say that?
Then
did I say... So let me explain. I'm relaxed. I'm very relaxed.
On what basis are you then saying it's been muscled out? With the poll.
Thank you.
With the poll. Your reference was with the poll.
Thank you very much. You have a vice president who is with the president. The president's approval rating is 63%. Very popular with all Ghanaians, with all NDC members. Yet the president, his vice president, cannot even make 2.0% within the party.
So you're going back to the point that he has just explained.
Yes, I'm going back to the point that... So the point I'm making, you should understand is this, that why is the president so popular within the party and the vice president so unpopular within the party? Why?
That's how you understand
that's
it.
That's what the poll is telling me. The poll is telling me that the vice president doesn't even make the top 5%. That means she's not popular in the party.
Look, doctor, I respect the title doctor.
Yes.
Her name wasn't included here. So you can't say she's not popular.
You mean she was not polled? She was not polled. The vice president, the second vice president. I'm telling you. Lead the NDC.
You asked a question.
You didn't vote the sitting vice president to place the party in the party that has a tradition of the vice president always replacing the president.
Not always.
Always. And the NDC is always. It's always.
You know,
Aka left office.
Hold on.
There was no transition. There was no transition.
Yes,
I'm saying always. That's because Aka was not even a member of the NDC.
You made your point. Thank you.